Welcome back, my friends. If you have not seen my last vlog, I would like to wish you a very happy new year. I noticed that some of you have not seen my last vlog, which was a little life update. I shared with you a sneak peek into my holiday trip, and we also talked about some incredible new pieces from Hermes. And I also took you along to paying for my holiday gift, which is the piece that we'll be unboxing in today's video. If you have not seen that video, I will make sure to have it linked up here for you. Usually when you get back into uploading videos to YouTube after taking a break, it takes a little bit of time for the algorithm to start circulating your videos. So if it's not something that you've been served, again, it will be linked in the corner and also in the description box, just so you can catch up if you would like to do so. If you're only here to see me unbox the piece that I picked up for myself from Hermes for Christmas and as a little reward for ending the year on a high note, well, I'm happy that you're here. So this is a piece that I've had my eyes on for quite a while. It was never really on the top of my list of sort of on my wish list. It wasn't something that I was prioritizing, but I was really looking for something special. And you may remember that last year I played around with a few different rings and I didn't really love any one of them. So I thought I should give this one a try, but it's not something that Hermes does very often, especially in the size that I wanted it in. So I think the last time I saw this piece in person was in, I think it was 2021 or the beginning of 2022. I was in Brussels and the boutique had one of the Hermes boutique there had one of these pieces in stock, but in an extremely small size in white gold. But I wanted it in rose gold, but that was the last time I saw it in person. I have not seen it since. So it was actually something that had to be ordered online, and it's been here for a few weeks. I want to say I got this the week before I left on my trip, so the week of my exam, but I've been so busy I really have not had a chance to actually unbox it. So we're going to be looking at this together for the first time, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. I'm kind of nervous because I'm not even sure if it's going to fit. I hope it will, but I'm not sure if I could even return it because I'm pretty sure it's been almost a month since I paid for this, or close to a month. So slightly nervous, but also excited to unbox this. And since I don't think this unboxing is going to take that long, I also wanted to share with you some of my favorite luxury pieces from the past year. So if you'd like to come along to unbox the latest addition to my Hermes fine jewelry collection and also chat about some pieces that I have really been enjoying for the past year, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. You know, it's so interesting. Even after doing YouTube for, I think I've been on YouTube for 5 years. I know it sounds crazy, but I think it must have been 5 years in December. So going into my 6th year of doing YouTube, I still get sort of a stage fright every time I sit down to film after taking some time off. Obviously, I did film a live update for you guys last week, but it's been a little while since I filmed a video like this, and I'm actually quite nervous doing it. I don't know why, but I kind of feel shy and rusty, so do forgive me if it takes me a little bit of time to get back into the flow of things. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and unbox this piece. Let me see if I can get rid of the ribbon with one hand because obviously I am holding the mic with the other. But of course, it comes with the beautiful Christmas ribbon, which I was also very kindly gifted a little Christmas ornament from Hermes this year, and also a beautiful card with some holiday wishes, which of course I'm really grateful for. But the piece that I decided to pick up, as I mentioned, it's not something that my boutique had available, but it's something that they had online. I think they had over 10 of these in the size that I was looking for. So there was plenty of these to go around, but I did not have a chance to try it on. And you know, when it comes to fine jewelry and especially rings, and considering the fact that my weight has been fluctuating and it has changed quite a bit in the past year, I really hope that this size still fits me. I of course tried on the sample sizes that they have at Hermes, but when it comes to fine jewelry, you always have to try on the specific piece that you're buying because, you know, depending on the width, the thickness, the setting, it can change how the ring fits. But as you can tell, this is quite a special ring because even though it comes in an orange box on the outside, On the inside, the ring is housed in a white box, which if you're familiar with your Hermes fine jewelry, you will know that it means that it's part of the Hermes engagement slash wedding collection. So it is technically a wedding band, and there is an engagement ring version of it, which means that there is a solitaire diamond that a larger diamond that sits on the center of the ring. This isn't that piece. Solitaire rings are just not my cup of tea, but it is from their so-called wedding collection. And we also have a little pouch back here, which I don't think comes with most Hermes rings. In fact, I know that it doesn't because I have never received one of these pouch bags. So it is really greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let me introduce you to the latest addition to my Hermes ring collection, which is definitely expensive as is. I always promise myself that I will stop buying rings because I already have an abundance of rings, especially Hermes rings. But at the end of the day, these are the things that I really reach for when it comes to wearing pieces of fine jewelry. If I'm going to wear anything, it is going to be a ring. So I thought it is something I would be able to take advantage of regularly when it comes to spending so much money on a piece of fine jewelry. The only way I can justify it is if I know it's something I will actually wear regularly. Anyway, without further ado, let me introduce you to the so-called Ariane wedding band in a rose gold set with tiny little diamonds. I believe this ring features 111 diamonds, which adds up to just under 0.3 carats of diamonds, and it is a ring that's offered in either white gold or rose gold. The rose gold one is slightly less expensive, but I actually think, in fact, I don't think, I know for a fact that this ring went up 150 euros in the past week. So it's already gone up in price compared to when I bought it. Obviously, Hermes has a price increase, or they call it a price adjustment at the beginning of each year. And this ring went up 150 euros, which is kind of insane. But it is, as I mentioned, the so-called Ariana or Ariane wedding band. The Hermes engagement ring and wedding band collection is quite expensive. They have a few different designs in a ton of different colors, and you can always choose from pieces with or without diamonds. But let me try this piece because I'm actually really curious how it's going to fit. Guys, this is not even funny. I cannot put this on. It's not going over the bone of my finger, even though it's a size 57, which is my usual size in Hermes. In Boucheron, I'm usually a size 58. In Hermes, I've always been a 57. All of my Hermes rings are a size 57. But as I mentioned, obviously my weight has been fluctuating. But I assumed if anything, my fingers, oh, okay, went on. But it is definitely too small. So if you look here, you can see that it almost makes my finger look like a sausage, and I'm not even warm, so I definitely don't think this is a ring that I would be able to wear in the summer. So it is a size 57. I know that Hermes rings usually go up to a size 59, so there should be a 58 and a 59. I'm just not sure if it's in stock. I know that when we ordered this, there were, I think, 11 or 12 of these in size 57. So I'm going to have to see if there is... Yeah, if there is a 58, because I do think it would be quite uncomfortable. Right now, it is fine. I can definitely feel this being on my finger, but I feel like in the summer, it's not something I would be able to wear because my fingers swell quite a bit in the heat. And obviously, I'm just sitting at home right now. So, okay, that is good to know. It's good for you guys to know as well that if you're going to order this ring, perhaps consider going up a size because of the sizing. As I mentioned, with fine jewelry, you always have to try the piece on because depending on how thick it is, how wide the setting is of the stones, those are all things that can affect the sizing and the fit of the ring. And this is definitely on the smaller side because, as I mentioned, I always buy size 57 and they tend to be quite comfortable. Anyway, let me leave this on my finger for a little bit to see how it feels. But yeah, it does make my finger look like a sausage. But this is what the ring looks like. So it is a really thin band that is set with diamonds. I do believe that this design is also available without diamonds, but the ring I think is slightly wider. The ring itself is a little bit thicker. And then it does have a very, very subtle H motif. So it does have three of these little bridges that connect the two bands, which are kind of course, inspired by the H motif. So if you look at it from the far, you can see that it's kind of an elongated H. And I do think that the two lines represent two lovers, and these bridges are the things that connect them, and it is fully covered in pave diamonds. And I have to say that I'll definitely have to do some close-ups for you guys so you can see that too, but it feels and seems a lot less sparkly than I expected. So I did buy a ring from Cartier earlier this year, which ended up getting returned because I did not think that it was sparkly enough. I like just a little bit of sparkle in my jewelry stack. And I was hoping, especially considering the price and how many diamonds it features, that it would be a little bit more shiny, and it's not. And I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it is, obviously it is not a particularly sunny day, but usually diamond pieces, I will show you a diamond ring in just a second, that I know will be almost blinding even though it doesn't have diamonds that big. But this really doesn't feel that over the top or that special. Maybe it is my hand, maybe my fingers are just a little bit too wide for it. But sadly, I am not blown away. I don't know. I don't get me wrong, I do like it, and I'll definitely try stacking it with other pieces. I do think that it would look quite nice with my rose gold Shantank ring. I can also see myself stacking this with my Ashtank ring, which the Ashtank ring, that is a classic Hermes piece that took me quite a while to get into. It wasn't something that I was immediately in love with as soon as I was introduced to the Hermes fine jewelry range. It took quite a while for that piece to grow on me, but now it's one of my most favorite pieces because I think it just, similar to the Shantank ring, it elevates anything that you stack it with. You can stack it with the most simple eternity bands from any brand out there. Even if you don't have a diamond band, you just have, like a full diamond band. You can even stack that with the Ashtank ring and it will immediately make it look and feel like $1,000,000. So I do think that that could be quite a nice stack. I'll try it on and insert some footage here for you because I don't have the ring here with me right now. It's in the other room. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not blown away by it, even though I feel like I should be, because when it comes to spending so much money, I mean, it's not the most expensive piece of jewelry that I have ever bought, but it's still a pricey piece. I don't know. I'm not in love. What do you guys think? Maybe, again, similar to the Ashtank ring, it will take some time to grow me. Let's try to recover from this slightly underwhelming start with some pieces that I know and love. Starting with my favorite fragrance of 2024. This is not a new fragrance in general or to my collection. By any means, it's a fragrance that I have been wearing since I was in college. I want to say that I started wearing this fragrance in 2016. I think 2016, shortly after it launched. Back in the day, my two go-to fragrances were this one, which we'll move on to in just a second, and believe it or not, the fragrance, I think it was called Nirvana, and it was by Elizabeth and James, which, if you have never heard of that brand, that was actually the Olsen twins brand before the role was even an idea. They had a fragrance brand which had two different scents. They had a white and a black bottle, and I think they were both different takes on the word Nirvana. I think that's what they were called, and I loved the black one. So that was one of my go-to fragrances. And the other one was By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela, and it is from their so-called replica line. It is called the replica line because each scent is supposed to replicate a memory. So this is a memory from 1971, and it is the memory of burning wood and chestnut. It is definitely on the woodsy side, but it's not smoky by any means. When you hear the word fireplace, obviously the first thing that you think of, I assume, is smokiness. And it definitely has a depth and a little bit of a woodsy smokiness, but it's not nearly as smoky as some other scents in my collection. In fact, to me, it smells a lot sweeter, a lot warmer, a lot more cozy and cocooning. It has a lot of vanilla, so it's definitely built upon a vanilla base, which makes it really warm and just really sweet and cozy. And to me, what's stronger than burning woods is actually this chestnut note. From memory, I think it also has Gaiac wood, which is a really soft, milky wood. It's not a heavy, harsh wood. It's not nearly as deep and as rich as something like an oud would be, but I really enjoy this fragrance if you're looking for something really comforting, really warm, and also quite personal. Even though it's a really popular fragrance, I would argue that it is one of the most popular fragrances from the replica line. I do think that it smells slightly different on each and every single person. As you can tell, I have been really enjoying it in the past year, and this is the smallest size that they sell other than their travel sizes. So this is kind of the next size up from a travel size. I think it's a 30 ml bottle. And the reason I have this in the smallest size is because I like to carry this in my bag. Unfortunately, this fragrance is not really, really strong. It does last pretty well, but not as well as some of my other fragrances. So I like to have this in my bag to top up. And it is such a small and light bottle that I know I can keep this in my bag really easily. And they have actually made these bottles refillable, so you can buy a large refill and just continue refilling the smaller bottle, which is exactly what I'm going to do with this. By the fireplace, for me, it is a tried and tested fragrance that I know I can always rely on, and I really do love this scent. So it's nothing new, but it is one of my go-tos that I continue going back to time and time again. Moving on to ready to wear, why don't we do ready to wear, which my most favorite piece from the last year is actually this sweater from Hermes, which is my reversible double-faced sweater. So it is a blend of cashmere, wool, and I think silk. They do this sweater each and every single season, and they have been making them for a few years now, but they change the fabric composition slightly each and every single year, and also the colors that they come in. But I don't know what it is about this sweater. Every single time I wear this, which trust me, I wear this a lot, I get compliments on this. Anytime I go to Hermes, I go grocery shopping, I go to an event, people always ask me about this sweater. So there is definitely something really special about the cut, the quality, the feel. The reason I bought this sweater is because of these vertical lines. So it does have a line running down the middle on the front and also along your spine in the back, which, you know me, I'm a sucker for any knits with a spine detail. It's the detail that Rick Owens and the roll pieces are known for. So when I saw that Hermes was making a sweater with a similar detail, I just had to jump on it. Now, one thing I did not do when I was buying this is I did not check the price. So I was quite surprised when I went to pay for this sweater, and it was over, I think at the time it was over 3,400 euros. I bought this after moving to Amsterdam. So it was definitely on the pricey side. And the idea is that you get a two-in-one because it is reversible. So on one side it is plain, and then on the other you have the H motif woven into it. Let me tell you, I've had this sweater in my collection for a year or two. I have been wearing this very consistently, and I have never once reversed this. I just like the plain black side, but it does come in several different colors. And even though it is a pricey piece, as I mentioned, there's something very, very special about the fit and the cut. It is slightly cropped and slightly oversized on top, but it's not overwhelming and not too short. I think there are so many different ways of styling it. You can dress it up or dress it down. It is insanely warm and cozy and soft. And you know, Hermes cashmere is insanely expensive, and their wool is kind of the same, but it is one of the best quality wools out there because it really doesn't fray, it doesn't peel. Even though I have been wearing this a lot, I think it still looks impeccable. And as I told you, it does get a ton of compliments. So the proof is in the pudding. It is something that just looks and feels like $1,000,000 without screaming and shouting the brand name. You do not even have to reverse it to the H side. It kind of just speaks for itself, which I really appreciate. So it is something that I would still highly recommend, especially if you love your knits as much as I do. And speaking of tried and tested, obviously that's what this part of the video is about. My other favorite piece is my Boucheron quad ring. I recently did a video on my current fine jewelry collection, which if you have not seen, I will make sure to link up here for you. I talked about this piece before in depth several times. I do have a Boucheron brand deep dive coming up, so stay tuned for that. But the quad ring again is something that I just go back to time and time again. It doesn't matter how my collection expands. This is something that I just always reach for. I love the fact that it beautifully and seamlessly blends different shades of gold. So it does feature a band in white gold, one in rose gold, and one in yellow gold. And then it also has this beautiful chocolate brown inlay of ceramic details, which to me honestly just looks black. But I just love that it mixes and matches metals. I love that it makes a statement on its own. It doesn't require you to stack it with anything else, but it doesn't go overboard either. It is just the perfect balance, and I feel it's something that really suits my collection and also fills a gap. So the quad ring, to me, is one of the best pieces I have ever had in my collection. And then let me think what else I wanted to share with you. Other than this piece of ready to wear, my most worn piece this past year was definitely my Aloe workout set with my Adapt running shorts and the Conquer muscle tank. That's definitely my favorite set, even though they're not technically a set, meaning that they're not part of the very same collection. I just love those two pieces together. I live in those. I have them in almost every single colorway that they come in, and I just find that to be the most flattering gym set out there. So if you love a tank top and a pair of shorts, those are the best. Do keep in mind that the shorts are on the shorter side. They are 5 inches, but they are fully lined, very comfortable, very flattering. The only thing I do wish is that there was a smaller size because the range starts at small, and I don't think it's really the most inclusive. But the fit, the quality, the cut is just phenomenal. You may remember that I recently topped up and restocked on the tank tops and also on the shorts just because I wear them so much. I really want to have a couple of backups. So that's something that I still stand by. And then just looking down at my watch, my Apple Watch was also an incredible investment. You know, this past year, I really committed not only a ton of time, but also effort into transforming myself both on the inside and out, and I don't think I would have been able to do it without my watch. It really, I just love the fact how easy it makes for you to track your workouts, track how many calories you burn, track how many steps you take. Obviously it is incredibly helpful when I go running to track my speed and my not my speed, my pace. So yeah, I just really do love my Apple Watch. I was definitely a late adopter of this technology, but I really do like it. I have the original Apple Watch, not the Hermes Apple Watch, because obviously Hermes has a collaboration, an ongoing collaboration with Apple, so you can buy Hermes branded Apple Watches. They do not sell them in the Netherlands for some reason. I'm sure I could have bought them somewhere else and then while I was traveling and then just wear them here. But I wanted to get the version that actually has phone service. So I ended up getting the watch itself through my phone company. And then I bought a band from Hermes, which this is the double tour band in black, which I just love. I wear this all the time, except when I wear the watch for working out and for sleeping. I wear a different band, but other than that, this is the band that I always have on, which I love. And again, it's something that is always complimented. And I think this was the last piece other than a bag. So I'm going back and forth between two bags to talk about here. Neither one of them are from Hermes, believe it or not. The first bag is the Chanel 22 bag, which again, by far was one of my most loved and most worn bag in the past year. I think it is a phenomenal bag. I do have several reviews on it, and again, it's not something I was immediately a fan of. It was definitely not love at first sight. In fact, far from that. I was landed back to try and review. I did not love it. It did take some time for it to grow on me, but now I really, really do enjoy it, and I completely understand the hype because it's very rare for a brand as prestigious as Chanel to launch a bag that is so effortless, so casual, and so laid back. But exactly because of that, it fills a gap in my collection. Now, in hindsight, I would probably go for the medium size over the large one because as fun as the large one is, I don't like how long the straps are, which you might think, what's wrong with that? But because the bag is quite large, if you pack it, which I mean, the reason you're going for a large bag is because most likely you want to pack it. The weight of all your contents will drag it down and gradually make the strap longer and longer. And I don't think it sits at the most flattering angle when the strap becomes too long. So unless you're really tall, I would actually suggest that you go for the medium size instead of the large size. But even the large one, I really enjoy. And then the other one, I think I'm gonna give that one the first prize. So let me go ahead and grab that really quick. I had to choose one bag, or if I could only keep one, I do think this is the one that I would stick with, which is the Raw Poly bag. Now I don't think that this bag is currently part of the Rose offerings, but if I can find it on the pre-loved market, or if you can find it on the pre-loved market, definitely consider it, or just keep your eyes on the Rose website and see if they launch anything similar to this, because they tend to play with the same shapes. And this, funny enough, I actually bought originally instead of the Chanel 22 bag. So I went to London and I was planning on treating myself to the Chanel 22 bag. I could not convince myself to get it. I could not justify the price. So I ended up coming home with this instead. And even though I now have both bags, I'm so glad I bought this still, because it is actually an amazing alternative to the Chanel 22 bag. It does have a very similar shape and feel to it. It is not identical or a dupe by any means, but I do think it adds a similar facet to your collection. But I love how incredibly understated it is, and the leather is just buttery soft. This is one of the most effortless, casual, laid back bags that you can throw on. But again, it is something that I always get a ton of compliments on. I recently carried this to Hermes, so I accessorized it with some of my Hermes charms. I put a rodeo on there along with an Hermes pendant. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is an Hermes pendant on there too. And it's a bag that I really love. Now, what's interesting about this bag is that it features, I mean, it's not obvious by any means, but it does have gold hardware. You do have this zip on the side, which is actually gold, which is quite surprising, because I would associate the roll with palladium hardware instead of gold, but that was just an interesting detail. But I love this bag. I have an in-depth review on it. So the reason I don't want to go on and on about it is because, number one, you have heard me talk about this bag before, and two, it's not currently available, but I really do like it. So trust me, there is more to the role than just the Margot bag. I feel like at this point, no one needs an introduction to the Margot bag and the Rose bags, but just know that there is more to the brand than the Margot bag. And if this is a bag that you come across, I do know that it is still floating around out there. They did this bag in red and black. I have not seen the black one in quite a while, but I kept seeing the red one popping up at amazing prices directly from different retailers who carry it, because I mean, red is such a specific color. I can understand why it would take some time for those to sell. But yeah, the poly bag is another one of those bags that I have really, really been enjoying. So if you find this, definitely jump on it, and I'll try to see if I can find some similar alternatives out there that I feel would add a similar facet to your collection. But this is everything I had for you today. Please let me know in the comment section what were your most used luxury pieces in 2024, whether you bought them in the past year or they are go-tos as most of these pieces. I would love to hear from you. I always love getting a little peek into your life and into your wardrobe. So let me know what was your most used luxury piece in 2024, and also what you think about the Ariana ring. I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I cannot wait to see you back here with a new video really, really soon.